Hey, this is Lori, and I would like to start exploring our emotions. So I don't know about you, but I have gone through a lot of stress and worry and concern and grief throughout the years of my life. And I'm sure you have too. I mean, in order to go through life on planet Earth without having times of extreme sorrow and anger and concern would be very close to a miracle. So, anyways, I like exploring things, and that's what I've actually been doing for so much of my life. I've been exploring what works best, what is best. How can I make my life so simple and easy and most impactful in order to get what I was really yearning for? And that yearning is something that I think everybody has within. There's a deep sense of yearning that we get to discover what it's really asking for. And it just is very quiet, but it can be very loud at times. Like you really, really want something, kind of like you really want to be loved. You want to have that romantic partner and have that perfect marriage or perfect life together, whether you get married or not, and just, have so much happiness and on the same page and all of everything, like that house or, either in the mountains or by the sea, what part of the country. Like there's so many different entanglements that can happen in a romantic relationship. Like for instance, the person that I married many years ago, and it didn't work out at the end, my kid's dad. Well, we both like had this huge disagreement of where we like to live, where we wanted to settle. So, it was, like a preference. We both had extreme different preferences. He wanted to live someplace that had 4 seasons, and he loved the winter. He hated the heat. Personally, I hated the cold. So that right in itself takes a lot of harmony. It takes a lot of like somebody's got to give in and do what the other person wants. And in that case, it was me. I gave in. And the trade-off was having a hot tub in my 3 seasons room where I could feel warm anytime I wanted to. So that was our trade-off, and how I managed to be okay in a long, cold winter season living in New England. And, when I explore it more and I think about it more, it was really a fear for him. He didn't want to move away from his family. He was one of 9 siblings. I mean, that's a lot of family. And just, going someplace totally different and new where you didn't know anybody. I mean, I have had that fear that I ended up pushing myself through, but that'll be another story. But he had a similar fear because he was in business for himself and he didn't know if he was going to be able to make it. You've got to have all those contacts and have relationships with people, and he already had that in New England. So that, I think, was his biggest fear of going someplace else. It was kind of funny because near the end of his life, he did share with me, because he was like cold all the time. Life changed. His body went through huge changes. And he was like, geez, I would live down south at a drop of a hat now. So, we get to have all these experiences, and sometimes we let the other person win, and sometimes neither one will budge. And how do you keep that harmony going on and be able to be okay together and continue that love that you first found and not let it just fade away, or dive into something else to maybe take the place of it, or feed what you think you might need. Addictions are huge, and addictions can happen when you're not happy and you want to submerge a bunch of feelings that you have inside. And personally, when my kid's dad and I first got together, he was pretty much a train wreck. He had a lot going on in his life, and he didn't know how to deal with it. And he got very, very angry about many things, and most people would, and it was, understandable. And he didn't know how to get rid of it besides using alcohol and different drugs. So he and submerging it, pushing it down, and not, neither one of us knew how to just let go. And it wasn't until we were divorced quite a few years after that that I discovered, what worked best for me, because I was on this exploration of really finding out what worked. There has to be, answers. There has to be solutions to everything I was looking for. What was my mindset? And I do have a stubborn personality that prodded on until I found it. And that's kind of like the same way that happened. I became an herbalist looking for solutions for my kids with their health issues when they were young. So anyways, that's a little bit about maybe how I'll start this off. I mean, our relationships with everybody in our life has a direct effect on our whole life. And if we don't clear the past, we take it with us. And it can end in tragedy. So I invite you to my new exploration of relationships that I'm publicly going to start sharing. And thanks for showing up. This person, this introvert, was extremely camera shy, was extremely shy from everybody, just always wanted to stay in my little corner, or, like super quiet, just let me do what I know how to do best and just like be by myself. And now here I am. It is possible. You can get over the shyness and embrace just sharing your stories and sharing what has brought you to this point in your life. And I would love to interview different people, because I think it's fun and exciting to hear each other's stories and how you've made it through and what worked for you and what didn't. So I also, put that out there. So let me know if you want to share. And if you want help getting over being camera shy, I can help you with that too. So thanks for listening, and I hope to see you soon. So let's do this. Let's have fantastic relationships with each other, really explore our emotions and how they trip us up so much, and see where it goes.